Okay.
Hello again, it's Peter Schofield and James Merchant. We had some nice comments from our last lot we did, so we thought we'd give another go. And today at night we're going to show in this segment a little bit of Golden Age and some obviously Victor Trumper. This I'm holding in my hand here is the 1884 Australians to England. It's a lovely lithograph put out by Scott and Boyle of Burke Street, Melbourne, both of whom were in the side. So
they had a shop, did they, Pete?
Yeah, I'd say they had a shop in Burke Street, Melbourne. Interesting story on this, you might find. I bought this a few years ago at a fair. We used to have a postcard fair in Sydney. I think I paid $700 or $800 for it. Very lucky I found it underneath a table in a pillar slip. That night, the guy I bought it off rang me up and offered me $1,700 to buy it back. So I think I must have got a deal. But it is a rarity, and it's mentioned in Michael Fahey's The Baggy Green. Obviously, he was going into the colour of the caps that they were wearing in those days.
So they look a bit blue, are they?
Yeah, they're slightly different colour when they used to do all their individual tours before the Australian thing. Then the other interesting thing about this, some years later, Gunn & Moore brought out a celebration calendar in 1938, celebrating great cricketers who use the Gunn & Moore bats, which they are.
Okay.
And what do they use in the middle to advertise in 1938? Exactly the same poster.
1938. Did they get this? They get the copy off you? Did they, mate?
Yeah, they must have. I was around then.
Looks like you're a time traveller when you look in this room.
Okay.
What else we got?
My two favourite cricketers, without doubt, the era I love is the Golden Age and Victor Trumper. So I'm mad Victor Trumper fan, and also Don Bradman, who I've got heaps of admiration. But before that, I've got an interesting ticket here, which, sorry, there's a piece broken off it. I bought this many years ago on eBay for almost nothing. It's a ticket inviting them to a banquet from New South Wales Cricket Association to Lord Sheffield, who was the guy who started our Sheffield Shield cricket by donating the wonderful shield. This side were the England cricketers in 1891, I think, captained by W.G. Grace. And this was Dave Gregory, the first official Australian captain, his ticket.
Wow.
I managed to get this from, it was Dave Gregory's brother's daughter, Henrietta. I got this from her. Funny enough, I bought it on eBay and got a couple of emails. The Gregory family produced a lot of cricketers for Australia, women and men. And he captained that first test when Australia beat England by 45 runs. Little bit bad news there. There were 6 Victorians and 5 New South Welshmen in that side. So Victoria and New South Wales were the strong sides. But wonderful little step back in time.
A most phenomenal family, isn't it?
Incredible cricketing family. So then we move on. Victor Trumper had his testimonial, and there was a lot of stuff done for it. This is one of the first ones. This is Victor Trumper's, signed by Trumper and all of the players that were in Victor Trumper's side.
So that's just a cardboard.
It's a cardboard, but with the official signatures.
Right.
I tried hard about 3 weeks, a month ago, to get the opposition one, which was signed, but I got outbid. I think I'd gone to about $1,600, and that was too much for me. So there was someone else who wanted it more than I did.
Probably watching this right now.
I hope so. If you are, enjoy your piece.
Yes.
So that was the official signed one.
Yep.
They also did a cardboard one, amongst the many other things they did, which has got a facsimile signature of it as Victor Trumper. And a couple of other things that you might like were tin plate one, which I think's a lovely thing.
I like these. Yeah.
They used to go for a lot of money, and they probably still go for between $700 to $1,000. But a wonderful thing.
So there are different types of the tin photos, aren't there?
Yeah, I've got another one, not in quite as good condition, and I'll hold them both together so you can see. Slightly different design. Excuse me, James.
Yeah, right.
Slightly different design. It's got a bit of a frame around it.
Right. Signatures in the same place?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they were both very nice.
So the frame's actually part of the tin photo in that one.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. They're lovely items to have. Still with Victor Trumper, I've got some plates which are not really of the era of him. I'd say these are transfer printed in maybe the late 30s, early 40s when they seem to come out. This one's the old favourite everyone knows, Stepping Out to Drive.
Quite a large plate, isn't it?
A large plate, yes. That's what I had my Sunday roast dinner on if I was allowed.
You could see the fork marks.
So that's a lovely one. There's another.
They're interesting, these transfer plates.
Oh, they're great.
Because,
they're great.
You don't see two the same often. I think they must have been, kids or whatever making them at home.
Yep. I'd love to get a thing just of the transfers.
Yeah.
There's another nice one.
Yeah, it's a beauty, isn't it?
Yep. So that's the other one. Here's a bit more of a caricature. The funny thing about this, I've got a postcard of exactly that same pose of Victor Trumper in the caricature series. But I think that's wonderful as well. I love that one.
Yep.
And one more. Oh, there's another one here. Traditional Trumper head and shoulders shot. Yep. Lovely shot.
They're nice. You don't see them.
Don't see them anymore.
Don't see them anymore, no.
Used to go around shops once. And when I have my coffee, here's my milk jug that I can use.
That's the same images.
Same images on that plate.
Yeah. That's a beautiful jug, that, isn't it?
A gorgeous little thing, yeah. Again, you used to, maybe if you're lucky, in junk shops, second-hand shops, you'd find these things.
You can't even find a junk shop now.
We haven't got anywhere in Sydney to go anymore to look for this stuff.
The only junk shops now, they sell the stuff out of China.
Yeah. Yeah, junk. Yeah. Okay, so another thing that I got, one of the few things that I got caught in, I love these, are tickets to games.
Oh, okay.
Very, very hard to find. These are early tickets to games. Hang on, I'll try and straighten them up for you. There's an 1899 one at the top.
Yeah, that's good. We can see those nice.
There's a 1909, there's a 1905, another 1909. They must have done heaps of them, but try finding them.
Yeah, yeah.
The very bottom one down here, I think it might have been a Tim Knight's auction or Lesky's auction.
They're all English, right?
Yeah, I bid for one of these. I didn't get it as usual, but it was 2 seats away from the one I've got, which I found was amazing. Which I would have loved it, but it didn't work out. But that's the way it goes. This one up here, particularly nice, 1899.
You can't even get a ticket now. We went to the theatre on the weekend. It's all those things on your iPhone.
Yeah, not allowed to have tickets. So that was that. There's a nice little thing here. It's an advertising card from Crammond and Dickinson's compliments of the 1905 Australians. I'm just showing this team because...
Is this an English one, do you think? Or
this is produced in England, yeah. This team was over there for the 1905 tour.
Yep.
And then when they came back, this ball here, when they came back from that tour, they played New South Wales. So it was New South Wales The game was played in 1906. That 1905 side played the New South Wales. This ball, which would have been handled by J.J. Kelly, Victor Trumper, Warwick Armstrong, Joe Darling, Monty Noble, it rolls on and on and on. The man of the match was Waddy, and he scored 64, I think, and 72. So that was awarded to him. I actually got it at Wentworth Park Antiques Fair one Sunday. The lady had it on an old pine thing, and she had it up for $10. I managed to wangle her down to $7. I felt a bit guilty, but I was extremely happy. And I asked her where she got it, and she said, a house clearance in Chatswood. It was on the top of a coffee pot. Well, Chatswood's where Charlie McCartney and Victor Trumper, who played in that game, in that era in that game, certainly Trumper, that's where they came from. And the Waddy family, who were big in that era, they were very religious. But the two Waddys both played high standard cricket, and one was a reverend.
Okay.
So I found that very interesting as well.
So I wonder if there's anybody left to play, because half the New South Wales team would have been in the Australian team.
Yep. Then two quite nice things. I'll show you something first. These some ball stamps I was going to show you. Just exactly what a ball stamp is. They put that stamp. This one's by Grimmett on a ball. So there's a big stamp that's dipped in gold and then put on the balls. This one, I've got about 8 of them, wonderful ones from Wisden, from Bird Oldfield. This first one is Victor Trumper. See that, James?
Yeah, it's come up. I mean, it's obviously back to front, right?
Yeah, it's back to front, a bit like myself.
Or mirrored,
Victor Trumper, Sydney, I think it says. Yeah. I've stood on my head, I've twisted my shoulders around to try and read it properly, but
you got to hold it in front of
I hold it in front of a little mirror, and that's the best way I can get it. And the next one, which is just wonderful, is that the right way up, James?
Yep.
That's Demon from the Demon Spofford, who was in that first team, 1884, that I showed you, who was quite a sensation when he went to England.
They still talk about him, don't they?
Yeah. So I hope you enjoy them. Might be something you haven't seen. Now, the last thing in this, and I'm hoping someone can help me. A while back, I did a book with a friend of mine, Peter Lloyd, and I had one of these postcards from Melbourne when Rhodes got the 15 wickets. I thought it might have been just a celebratory postcard put out. But fortunately, then in an auction in England, I found framed the whole 6 of these postcards. So there was one for each game. They're just wonderful cards. And one telling you all the facts and figures of the series. Wow. I suspect they were put out. I think they were produced in Australia myself. And if they were, they're early Australian cricket postcards, but I could be wrong. But if they were, I think they were put out in about 1903, 04, the end of it, by the Melbourne Sports Store. And I think that was a guy called Dodge who was involved, who made it. He was a bit of an entrepreneur, and then he came up to Sydney and he was involved in a business with Victor Trumper. But if there's anyone out there who knows anything about them, I'd love it if you could get in touch with me, because I'd like to know a bit more about them. My email, you might find this strange, but it's trumpervic@gmail.com. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. James and I have had a good time producing it for you.
Maybe before you go, Pete, can you see that they might want to see the back of one of those cards?
Okay.
I know Andy, if he's watching, he'll be saying, "Where's the line?"
Andy, there's the card.
Yep.
There's the back.
Okay.
When I got these cards, incidentally, they were all framed and stuck on cardboard. So a friend of mine in England, a lovely guy, got them for me, Warwick Mill, and we cut them out. I got them on cardboard. I then spent about 3 hours here with a little Stanley knife trying to get them off the cardboard, and I was very happy with the result. So
Thanks for
only nutcase collectors will do that.
well done. Thanks for the trip down the Golden Age lane, Pete.
Thank you and bye.